Welcome to our deep dive all about artificial general intelligence. We have a really fascinating set of sources on AGI for you today, like the OpenAGI Codes website and even some research papers and social media posts. We're really excited to dig into it all.
Yeah, AI and AGI are definitely the hot topics right now. It feels like every day there's some new breakthrough or application, and the sources you found are a real interesting snapshot of what's happening.
So let's start with OpenAGI Codes. This website really jumps right into this idea that we're not just seeing small improvements in AI anymore. They're suggesting we're actually on a path to something way bigger.
Right, they're pushing this idea of artificial superintelligence, or ASI for short, which is basically AI that's smarter than humans. It's definitely a concept that makes you think.
Yeah, makes you a little nervous too. But before we get into all that, let's unpack how we even get to ASI. A lot of your sources, especially the research papers, talk about this new type of AI called agentic AI. What makes this so different from the AI we see today?
Well, traditional AI is mostly reactive. It responds to inputs or follows instructions. But agentic AI is designed to be much more independent. These systems can actually set their own goals and plan actions and learn from their experiences, almost like humans do.
Well, it's not just about AI being smarter, it's about AI becoming more like an independent being, capable of making its own decisions.
Exactly. And that raises a lot of questions about how we design these systems and even how we control them and interact with them.
It sounds like we're moving beyond just using AI as a tool and into this world where AI could be a partner or even a competitor.
Definitely a lot of possibilities, but also potential problems we need to think about. Speaking of new types of AI, there were two terms that came up a lot in your sources: diffusion models and retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
I have to admit those terms were a little intimidating at first, but I think our listeners can handle it. Could you break down how those technologies actually work?
Sure. So for diffusion models, imagine an artist who takes a blurry image and slowly turns it into a photorealistic masterpiece. That's kind of what a diffusion model does with data. It learns to break down and then rebuild data, whether it's images or text or even music, and it can create some pretty amazing new things.
So it's not just copying existing data, it's learning how to create something totally new, like giving AI actual creativity.
Now let's add RAG to the mix. Think of RAG like giving AI access to a giant library. It allows AI to pull in information from all kinds of sources, like books and websites and databases, to help it understand and reason better.
So it's like combining an artist's creativity with the scholar's knowledge. An AI with both of these could analyze data, come up with creative solutions, and even tell us what it's thinking.
Exactly. But realizing that potential also means we need to think about how this affects jobs. Some of the articles you shared, especially from Google and Microsoft, talk about how AI is changing the way we work already. And they mentioned AI copilots, which sound like more than just tools.
Yeah, it sounds like AI copilots are designed to work with humans, helping us with tasks and giving us insights. But isn't there a risk that we become too reliant on them and maybe limit our own abilities?
It's a good question. AI in the workplace is definitely going to change how we work, and we need to adapt and learn new skills. It's not just about learning to use new tools. It's about figuring out how to collaborate with AI and use its strengths along with our own praise.
So it's not about AI taking over, it's about AI helping us do more. And that means changing how we think about the skills and knowledge we need in this new world where AI is everywhere.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing shift.
Yeah.
We're going from seeing AI as just a tool to seeing it as a partner who can help us solve problems.
And that brings up something that the OpenAGI Codes website talks about. What happens when AI becomes smarter than humans? They even quote experts like Stephen Hawking, who warned us about the dangers of full AI.
Yeah, Hawking's concerns are important. We have to think about what happens when we create machines that could be better than us at everything. It's not just about jobs anymore. It's about the future of humanity.
It's a lot to think about. On the one hand, AI could help us solve huge problems, like disease and poverty and climate change. But on the other hand, what if we lose control of these AI systems?
That's why it's so important to develop AI responsibly. And that means thinking about the technical stuff, like how to build safe and reliable systems. But it also means thinking about the ethics. How do we design and use AI in a way that's good for everyone?
So it's not just about making AI smarter, it's about making sure AI is used for good. And OpenAGI Codes also talks about something called citizen developers and how they'll be important for the future of AI.
Yeah, citizen developers is an interesting idea. Basically, it means giving people the tools to build their own AI applications, even if they don't know how to code. It could open up AI development to a lot more people.
It's like democratizing AI. Anyone with a good idea could create something amazing.
Imagine teachers using AI to create personalized lessons, or artists collaborating with AI to make incredible art, or small businesses using AI to compete with bigger companies.
It's a vision of AI that empowers everyone.
But it also brings up some new challenges. How do we prevent people from using AI for bad things? How do we make sure AI is fair and doesn't discriminate? And how do we make sure everyone benefits from AI?
It sounds like those ethical questions we talked about earlier are even more important when anyone can build AI.
It's a tough challenge, and it's going to take a lot of collaboration between technologists and ethicists and policymakers and everyone else.
So let's move on to something a little more practical. The articles you shared from Google and Microsoft give some good examples of how AI is already being used in businesses, especially these things called AI copilots.
Right. AI copilots are more than just simple assistants. They're designed to work with humans to help us do our jobs better and make smarter choices.
But what does that look like in the real world? How are companies actually using these AI copilots?
Well, imagine a marketing team using AI to analyze customer data and spot trends, and even create personalized ads for different groups of people, or a financial analyst using AI to go through tons of financial data and find potential risks and opportunities so they can make better investment decisions.
So AI can take care of the boring and repetitive tasks, and humans can focus on the more creative and strategic work. But what about the people whose jobs are replaced by AI?
That's definitely a concern. Some jobs will be lost as AI becomes more common, but new jobs will be created too, just like when cars replace horses. The whole job market will change in ways we can't even imagine yet.
So we need to be ready to adapt and learn new skills. The articles you shared talk a lot about lifelong learning.
Exactly. In the age of AI, we need to be willing to keep learning and growing.
It's not about being afraid of AI. It's about seeing AI as an opportunity to improve ourselves and create a better world. But we've talked a lot about AI in the workplace. What about the bigger picture? How will AI affect society as a whole?
That's a big question, and one we need to think about carefully.
Yeah, it's not just about jobs though, right? I mean, AI is going to affect pretty much everything.
Exactly. For example, healthcare was a big topic in the research papers you shared. They talk about how AI could totally revolutionize how we diagnose and treat diseases.
Yeah, like imagine AI reading medical scans way better than any human could, or coming up with personalized treatments based on your genes.
Exactly. And it could even help us develop new drugs much faster.
But all of that brings up some new questions too, like how do we make sure everyone has access to these AI healthcare tools? And what happens if an AI makes a mistake? Who's responsible?
Those are really important ethical and practical questions, and they lead to an even bigger question. As AI becomes more powerful, how do we make sure it reflects our values as a society?
It's like AI can do all this amazing stuff, but we need to make sure it's being used for good.
Right. And that's why AI governance is so important. OpenAGI Codes talks about this too. They say we need to create rules and guidelines for AI that go beyond just making sure it's safe and effective.
So it's not just about stopping AI from hurting us. It's about making sure AI is used in a way that aligns with what we believe in as a society. But that raises another question. Who decides what those values are?
Well, that's a question for everyone to think about. It's not just up to the tech people to decide. We need everyone to be part of the conversation. Ethicists and policymakers and regular people too.
That reminds me of the tagline for OpenAGI Codes, your codes reflect. It's like a reminder that we all have a responsibility to think about the values that are built into the AI systems we create and use.
Absolutely. And that responsibility isn't just for the developers.
Yeah.
Everyone who uses AI needs to be informed about how these systems work and what their limitations are, and even what kind of biases they might have.
Wow, this deep dive has been incredible. We started with all these technical terms like diffusion models and RG, and now we're talking about the future of society. It really feels like we're entering a whole new world.
Yeah, it's a world with amazing potential, but also some serious challenges we need to address. And as we move forward,